Hi Cancer, welcome to your June 2019 love reading. Wow, June already. It's Raina here, and just shuffling the cards. I'm also going to pick a card from the universe as your back deck. I just have to remember. I said that to Scorpio, and then I ended the reading and didn't pick a card. That has happened before. Okay. So the heart of the matter is the Page of Pentacles. By the way, we have all minor arcana cards here. So this may be, I was going to say, the calm before the storm. And by the way, the storm could be your solar eclipse in July. And maybe this is kind of the preliminaries. So the Page of Cups is a card, you can see the fish, right? So it is connected to Pisces, but a water energy in general. It's young energy. I tend to see it in love readings as an innocence that sometimes actually becomes or is a gullibility, where a person is kind of in a relationship and is too trusting and not discerning enough. And this could be just like a purely romantic type of a person. Perhaps you have met a Pisces or will meet a Pisces who fits this bill, or this is an aspect of yourself, Cancer. Definitely could be you. Now, if you're like somebody who is kind of like just starting out, very young, in your teens or 20s, what I would say to you is retain that beautiful innocence, but have your wits about you. Don't, because you have such a loving nature, understand that other people can sense that compassion, that nurturing quality within you. And if they have something that is broken, that needs healed, because you're like a natural healer, they may gravitate towards that. And yet it might not be that they are the person for you in terms of an actual relationship. I'm talking about like a romantic relationship. So in other words, pick a partner not on whether or not you feel sorry for them, or they seem like they need something from you, that they're broken in some way. They have addiction, they have just mood instability, and you want to be that calming influence in their life. Maybe you can be in some capacity, but not necessarily in a one-on-one relationship, because that could be, you're very, because you're very empathic, you have to be careful that you don't get, have the life sucked out of you by an energy vampire. That's the best way of putting it. Because empaths and narcissists go together like, peanut butter and chocolate, very well, in other words. So that's one possible interpretation. If you are married, coupled, and it's funny though, I don't necessarily see this as a marriage situation. Well, it could be. And there could be a situation where you're with someone. It's funny that I'm getting these knights, all these court cards are coming here. And the Knight of Swords in the past position can be a person with a combination, probably is going to be an air sign, but they're going to have a fire element to them. So an example would be a Libra with the moon in Aries or something. This person they may not be the type of partner that is the best one for you, because they may need too long of a leash. They may not want to settle down like you like to, Cancer. And you're trying to make them into something that they're not. It may not be that they're a bad person. They may be a little bit rude or brusque to what do they call it, like blunt, and that hurts your feelings. But let's face it, it doesn't take much to hurt your feelings. So this kind of person isn't necessarily a mean-spirited person. They're just like, they tell it like it is. They're maybe insensitive. That's another good way of putting it. And you constantly feel hurt by them, but it's really that you do not have that. That's not the person that you're meant to be with. And you may be attracted to certain qualities that they have. But overall, that may not be the person that you're meant to be. There's another page here. Page of Pentacles. This is the spiritual position. And this might be a budding relationship with an earth sign. Earth is a much more compatible element to you than air. And this is because Earth is feminine like you are. So a lot of the things that are important to you will be important to earth signs. Like building. Earth signs are very much about the tangible things in life. And you are about, making life secure and preserving it. And having like that yet future security as well. So the Page of Pentacles, if this is a person, an earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn is your opposite sign, or Virgo. And this person may be quite young. I mean, it's funny that I'm getting for the center of this reading, the Page of Cups, which is another, pages can be children, but if they are representing adults, it doesn't have to be childish. It could be childlike. It could be somebody who is quite playful. I would say out of all of them, it would probably be a Virgo, just because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and there's that, to me, there's a kind of a childlike quality with Mercury, where it is very flexible, interested in many things, and also the fact that another reason I would say Virgo is because it's very close to Leo, and it could have a Virgo person can have personal planets in Leo, and so that can be very warm and funny and things like that. However, an earth sign person, if we just look at it in terms of element, can be quite dry and can be quite very sensible, practical, but not necessarily flashy. There could be something quite charismatic about the Knight of Swords. And so you may overlook, if you have a person in your life like the Page of Pentacles, Cancer, you may kind of overlook that person and take them for granted because they are so unassuming. And the Knight of Swords has kind of I don't know if I'd say a dangerous quality, but they have kind of a very strong presence. And that might feel more interesting to you. And that's where the dilemma is. What crosses you is represented by the Knight of Pentacles. I think, I'm not going to say this is a certain person, although this card does connect with Taurus. So if you've had an ex that's a Taurus, maybe it's saying keep that person next. I don't know. But the Knight of Pentacles can be a card of like being very motivated to earn money and, you know, very hardworking. So that could certainly be a facet of you, that you're just so into your job that you don't have time to really dedicate to a love life right now. And that's okay, because it may change in the future. But I'm just saying, if you want to be with somebody and have that part of life, you have to dedicate some of your life to that. Not all of it, but you have to have time to be able to do that. And depending on what phase in life you are, that may be a problem. If you are someone who is interested in a particular person, that person maybe you do like this Page of Pentacles, but they are very immersed in their job. Even the Knight of Swords can be somebody who is a workaholic. You never know. I mean, that could be what is keeping the relationship from flourishing. So it is what it is, you know. But people have to be aware that workaholism, whether it's within yourself or in another person that you're interested in, that has to be taken into account when you are trying to meet a new person, because they may have a lot of good qualities, but they may not be able to, they may not devote a lot of their energy to you, especially if they have the kind of career, let's say they're a doctor or a lawyer, something where they're kind of married to their work. You have to almost be the same type of person in order to really appreciate that. And a lot of Cancers, they want to have that, you know, material security, but they also want a partner to cherish them and to give them attention. And I certainly, I'm not a Cancer, but I certainly can feel for that desire, because why be in a relationship if you're not going to actually be able to interact with that person? It's almost, to me, like you might as well be single then, right? So that's how I see it. What is coming in, or the advice, is represented by the King of Swords. So this is a card, you know, sometimes if somebody is married, it could be talking about judgments, divorce proceedings. If you are interested in somebody, maybe you were dealing with the Knight of Swords and you needed to deal with the King of Swords. So this might be somebody who's much more mature. That's another thing about the Knight. The Knight of Swords can be like unstable. The Knight of Pentacles in the challenge position may mean that those are the types of guys that you're just not attracted to. That's very hard for me to believe for the average Cancer, but it does happen, even with an earth or a water sign, that they are attracted to what we would call the bad boys, the ones that are the least likely to commit. You may be just, you go to them like bees to honey, and the ones like the Knight of Pentacles that can be the salt of the earth, can be very dependable, you just turn your nose up to them for whatever reason. The King of Swords, we think about the swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, could be an older person than you, definitely more mature, and also somebody who is intelligent and maybe well educated. And this person is, giving you a life without drama. And maybe you've been dealing with drama with the Knight of Swords, and you're tired of it. This, as advice, this could be asking you, Cancer, to become a lot less emotional. Stop taking things so personally. You know, because in order to find love, you have to be able to have a sense of humor. You have to not take yourself too seriously. And if, you know, the Page of Cups to me is a very vulnerable energy. And there's nothing wrong with vulnerability. It's actually a form of strength. But you don't want to be the type of vulnerable person that feels like a victim, that feels like you're always getting insulted, you're always, you know, that people are always mistreating you. If it's very true that you have a pattern where people have not been respectful to you, then with the King of Swords, you have to be discerning at that level where you kind of, you know, are dating somebody, you see them, and then you're like, okay, they did this thing, so I know the type of person that they are, and I'm not going to give them more energy. And you're that, I don't want to say cold, but you're that analytical about it, that you don't allow your emotions to kind of take over. The outcome is the Ten of Wands. Yes, I do feel that you're in a state right now where you're very busy. This is a card of maybe working overtime. And, you know, there may be other things going on in your life that are kind of supportive of that. But it's, again, a card that, it's a fire energy card. And it could be, too, to me, since the number 10 is about the end of a cycle, that the days of you being the one that has to carry the all the weight in the relationship are over. That maybe you've met somebody. If it's a Libra, then they are going to give you that sense of fairness. So that would be good. So I'm going to pick a card from the universe. Oh my God, this always happens. I kind of don't like it because I like variety, but I just picked this card for the other one even after I shuffled. Thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perception so that I can see what is of the highest good. So basically, everything that has led up to this moment in your life, Cancer, has happened for a particular reason, and expanding my perceptions. Yes. What is the highest good? That's another thing about the King of Swords, is being able to, you know, be logical about what is good for you, what is not good for you, and not allow emotions to go, yeah, but, you know, this person, you know, da-da-da. And especially if the Knight of Swords is somebody that you used to be with, is your ex, and you're tempted to go back to that person. When they say, thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Fear keeps people stuck. In other words, repeating patterns. And that's not good, because, you know, you're here to grow. And certain things are a dead end. So there's no need to repeat something that didn't work the first time. So anyway, I hope that you got something from this, Cancer. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below to my website, which is rainamoonastrology.com. Namaste. Have a great month. Bye.